Hallo zusammen, ich heiße Amity und heute werde ich meine Expectations versus Realität in Österreich erklären. Ich möchte gerne dieses Video auf Englisch machen, wenn das okay ist. I just, yeah, I hope that's okay. Like, I don't really have a reason for it. I just want to just a little bit of a background. I am a third year Bachelor of Languages student in my university in Australia. A part of this bachelor is to go overseas for at least a semester in the target languages country. I am majoring in German, so I am in Austria doing my semester here. I have already been here since like 1st of September basically, and it is now, what is today? Can I not read? What the heck? It is now the 22nd of October, and so I've been here for almost 2 months completely. I would like to make a separate video on like my entire reflection about it, but I thought for today we can just do like a expectations versus reality. Before I do the expectations versus reality, I would like to just do little top points or mentions of what I have noticed in Austria, from my experience, for specifically like what people say and those sorts of like little mannerisms that I noticed is interesting to me as an international student. So the first thing that I noticed was that people say aha a lot. So like when they are receiving new information or the situation is being clarified, they say ah. There is also ach so, like ach so. But to be honest, I hear both as much as each other. So I hear aha almost as much as I hear ach so. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're interchangeable, but I personally say aha ke cheka more than I say ach so. Maybe it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I noticed, because in Philippines we say like instead of our version of aha slash ach so is vi oh, like oh, but it's more like oh, but it's like oh, so it's spelled like A W H, and then you add a bunch of H's. Like for example, Akso, it would be like A S O, and then if you want to exaggerate, you can go like O O, like when you're texting. It's the same principle, but different letters basically. Korea, what I have noticed, and like not in Korea because I've never been to Korea, my Korean co-workers, they go like they don't really say anything, but they go like like when you're telling them information, they go like It's just a way of them saying, not exactly, actually it's not like akso, but it's how they react to new information, like to show that they understand it. So yes, they can go like ah, they still do that, but they, during the actual speaking, they say I'm just gonna give like an example. So me and my roommate, we were walking in the park, and it's a path, and we're walking on the pathway, sidewalk, sorry, and it's pretty big sidewalk, and one direction is like over here, one direction is like there, and on the concrete it says either pedestrian or the bike, and to be honest, no one really follows it. I think you just stick to the further side so that the bikes can go through. I don't know, I'm also confused on this. But anyways, me and my roommate, we were walking on the bike side, except it's not really a bike side, it's just like pedestrian. The whole thing's basically pedestrians plus bikes. So me and my friend, we were roommate friend, I'm gonna use interchangeably because we're actually like quite good friends. We were walking on the bike side, like I was on the edge of the grass, of the sidewalk, almost touching the grass. So, you know, the bikes had lots of space to go around us, and honestly it was a pretty big lane itself, so yeah. Anyways, we were walking and the bikes kept like ringing their bells, and eventually I was like, should we really be here, like on this side? And she says to me, do you want us to go in the river or what? And it's like so funny to me because she says it, I think, when she's like annoyed at something, or like she can't think of a possible logical solution or alternative. So it's like, they want us to go in the river or what? I can't do a German accent actually, never mind. But yeah, right next to the sidewalk is a river. So that's where she says like, do they want us to move over into the river or like what? And it's like a very prominent scenario I had, that I thought of. But I've also had, I've had this, like other scenarios too. This was the most prominent one, I would say, and I think it's so funny when they say it. And the next one is, this one really like freaking confuses me. So there are a few ways to say the receipt in German. I think like die Rechnung, der Zettel oder Zettelbon oder etwas, die Quittung und so weiter. Ich habe schon vergessen. Anyways, I was at DM and I wanted my receipt because I was gonna go into a pillar. So she didn't ask me, but I was like, und die Rechnung bitte. And she like looked at me, didn't say anything, and just like she gave me like this saucy look, like, and then she gave me the receipt, and then yeah. And I remember posting this on my Instagram story, like, oh my god, I fucked up, like I should have said this, like actual expectations versus reality. I have little notes. I hope it's okay that I read from the note because I'm a visual person, so it's better for me to write it and then read it. Okay. So I wrote, I knew people smoked, but I really underestimated how many. And because it's so normal, people will pull up a smoke without even asking, and everyone knows brands of smokes or types of the types of smokes there are, which is apparently such common knowledge. And I think that's like, I think it's very European culture, not just Österreich, where everyone smokes. Like people will smoke like outside the cafe. Maybe each table will have 2 people smoking. They don't even ask you. They just pull it up because, to be honest, it's already like in the middle, usually like a little thing for the cigarette. It's like inviting you to smoke, basically. But I find it wild because in Australia, actually, in Austria, there are basically no ads, I would say, for smoking. I haven't seen any ads for smoking and against smoking. It's just like different ads, but smoking. In Australia, it's very, very common to see ads everywhere about how smoking is bad for you. I believe it is illegal. Yeah, it's illegal. And I mean, I already spoke this about in my Vienna video when I first came here. But yeah, I believe it's illegal in Australia to some extent, including like vape. I don't know what the difference is between vape and IQOS, but yeah, IQOS is a thing here. Yeah, like literally even old people smoke, and I'm just like, what? This bus driver was smoking. A passenger was smoking. So I can't bring drinks on the bus, but I can give everyone lung cancer. Okay, that's fine. Great. Smoke, I don't give a fuck. But do it not near me, please. Okay, so the next one is that my expectation was that I would learn German fast by immersing myself in German all the time. The reality is, it is now, yeah, the 22nd of October, and I've been here since the 1st of September, basically. I am only now getting the confidence to order food. I genuinely got so scared and so overwhelmed by everything. I used English at home or listened to English songs 80% of the time because thinking about German was just too much. Too much. Yes. So it turns out now I understand how people live in countries but don't actually know the language, because it's just so easy to move around, to get around without needing German. In my city, I obviously needed to use German because it's a bit more old school vibes here. But there's also quite a few international students here that don't speak any German, and they've gotten along fine, give or take a few issues with personal stuff. I don't really know. Bureaucracy, whatever it was. Bureaucrat. But it took me, I would say, early October to actually immerse myself completely in German. I don't know if you guys know, but some of you guys do know actually how hard it was for might seem grammatically correct, but it's not what they would usually say. Thanks to some help, I'm actually really good now at ordering kebabs. So, and ice cream. Restaurant. Das bitte. Das Patra. Das passt. But most of the Germans here, they speak English with me, like the international students, and it's like fine. Let's chill. We had a game night one of the first weeks here, and we played a game of Monopoly, and it was all in German. The cards. So there was me and this other German girl, and we would be translating the cards for the other people. And it was fun. I was like, thanks guys, because the others were French or Ukrainian. There was one girl there who could also read German, but I don't think she was confident enough to translate it. So yeah, that was like cool. It's like, oh my gosh, I can help or something. I don't know. Yeah, you really have to make a European personality for yourself. You can't just bring over like your home country personality to here, especially when the language is different, because I mean, my goal, the whole thing is to immerse myself into it. If your goal is just to move countries, whatever. But if your goal is to immerse yourself, then you do need to make a new personality, just like to immerse yourself, really. And yeah, another expectation was that it's like everywhere on German meme reels and shit, where they're like, when you speak to a German and they speak English to you, even though you speak to them in German. In my experience, that has not been the case. It's honestly probably been like 2 times that happened, and one of them was a tour guide who was already speaking in English, and I started the conversation in English, so that didn't even really count. And the second time was literally less than a week ago, when I was confusing the difference between verwende and benutze, and so he just spoke English back to me, which is fair, but honestly, the entire almost 2 months here, I've only been spoken back to in English twice. Well, basically 1.5, and otherwise they have been speaking to me in German the whole time. Yeah, that was what I found shocking, I think. Even when I went to Graz, Salzburg, actually that's only the 2 other places I've been to. They all spoke to me in German, which I thought was also surprising, because I'm like, oh, you know, she looks Asian, she looks like a complete tourist. Let's speak to her in German. And honestly, I love it, because this forces me to not have to, you know, gain the courage to speak in German. Like I can just dive deep into the conversation, even though I'm panicking inside, because I'm like, fuck, it's gonna Deutsch gut sprechen. But we're slaying somehow. Because I remember when I went to Salzburg, and my food was generally taking like 30 minutes to arrive, and I was like, what the frick is happening? So I did the whole thing in English, in German beforehand, but there was this new server, and I was so sick of being like, oh my god, what did I say, how do I ask him, like, you know, is my food still coming? That when he came over to me, it was a new server than the one that I ordered with. I was like, is my food still coming? And he was like, wie bitte? So I was like, oh, kommt mein Essen noch? So yeah, that was for me, and that was in Salzburg, right next to the But in Austria, they say Tschüssi, danke, baba. Like, you know, they say like minimum 2 words just to say goodbye. You have to do it like a little high pitch. It's like, yeah, danke, Tschüssi, baba, bis nächste Woche. Like, it's 4 things. And say my thing is that I say Tschüssi, ciao. Like, that's how I say goodbye here. Or I say Tschüss, schönen Tag noch, schönen Abend noch. And yeah, so that was like interesting to me because yeah, in the Philippines we just say bye once. In Australia you just say bye once. Actually in Australia you would say have a good one. Bye, have a good one. Actually, have a good one is by itself. Yeah. So you can combine it, but I think it's actually more common just to say have a good one instead of bye, have a good one. Yeah, anyway, so that's that. So my last expectation is that my clothes in Australia would be fashionable enough for Europe. I get it, completely different. It's already a massive gap, but it would still pass. No. Because I've written down here. If you look at my Instagram, I have like a light blue hoodie, and I get looks when I wear this, and I realize because it's too happy for Austria, you need thick colors. You need like browns, whites, light browns, blacks, dark blues. Yes, you can have bright clothes, but honestly, I've never really seen someone with blue hoodie, and that's what the number one thing that made me look like a tourist was this light blue hoodie. So I got myself a dark brown jumper because I was just standing out way too much. But yeah, it's just like a small thing, and everyone here is quite fashionable, especially the Slavic people. Like they got style, respect, to be honest. Okay, that was all the expectations versus reality, and like the little things that I noticed here in Austria. I apologize for the really late videos and how I'm not so active. I'm so busy, but at the same time I'm not. Like, I'm so busy that when I'm not, I just want to like, I'm just like done. I will explain it more in my reflection video. Hopefully it will be early November or something. I can do it. Or yeah, I just think I should. Obviously I need to keep this channel going, but I obviously want to also be raw with how I've been experiencing Austria thus far. Because expectations versus reality, yes, but it's a surface level of what I've been, of my experience here so far. I keep saying this